Hey guys, Crystal Thompson here for Unity. I have a really fun card with some watercolor techniques using Gracie Ellie Designs Friends Like You. I have pre-mounted my gorgeous Unity stamps onto my acrylic blocks, again using Friends Like You from Gracie Ellie Designs, my archival ink pad that is waterproof as I will be watercoloring, craft cardstock, and my folded card base. Let's begin by inking up the flower from Friends Like You, and I like to make sure that all of it is well covered and even, so I only stamp once as I am not using a stamp positioner. I am placing some of the leaves to look out, and the reason for this is because I am going to cut around it. Next, I'm going to place my sentiment and let that set. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to cut part of this card using my trimmer, and then I'm going to hand cut, or free cut, or fussy cut the floral part of this. Once I have cut my image, I'm going to place a piece of craft cardstock onto the edge of the card base. Now I'm going to watercolor my flowers, and using this I'm using Daniel Smith watercolors. You can use any watercolors you like. You can use distress oxides, distress ink pads, your ink, anything, any medium you like. You can Copic color this, but for my project I am using some watercolors. I am starting by placing a wash of water onto my flower and leaves. A wash is simply placing water onto the image to be colored. I'm going to be using a light green, and I'm going to blend some colors onto this. So I added first a light yellow and then the dark green, and I'm going to let that sit before I place any more colors onto my image. Again, I am placing a wash of clean water onto the flower to be colored, then doing a very diluted pink, and then adding some of the same pink, just a little bit darker with less water, drawing my brush in between. I will not add any more color to the stuff that I just did. I'm going to let that dry a little bit. Again, continue to add a wash of water, then a very light pink, and then continue on by dabbing some of that same pink with some less water. Again, drawing the brush in between and letting that water kind of soak into the place. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to speed it up so you can see what I did without having to explain this over and over, since you guys are quick learners. Once my flower is done, I'm going to go ahead and place this onto the card base that I had placed some of the craft cardstock. And I'm sure to put a lot of adhesive because the watercolor paper is a little heavier and it likes to warp because of the water. And there's the card. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial with some watercolor dabbing onto Friends Like You. Thank you so much for joining me. Have an awesome day.